Hey everyone, Sycra here, and today I'm trying out a program called Krita, or Krita, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll just pronounce it Krita, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And yeah, it was recommended to me by a lot of my viewers, and man, I really like it. I really like this program. The brush engine is probably one of the best I've seen, and with GIMP or Paint Tool SAI, they're okay for painting, but they're not really that good for painting. But I found this one, geez, I found it like better in many cases than even Photoshop with some of the brushes. Admittedly, I haven't taken advantage of the whole program. I haven't really explored it. I just I decided to do a self-portrait because I wanted to do a painting to show off like what a painting program can do, and I haven't done a painting from a photograph, and I haven't done one of those for a while. And it's hard to, I didn't want to ask permission from other people, so I just took a photo and whatever, just use it as reference. And I haven't done one of these in a while. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. But back to Krita. It's yeah, I only used two brushes. One was it's like this thin pencil. I don't remember what it's called. And then another was a paintbrush, which you will see later on. But I really liked them. And this program is free. So I feel now that people really don't have an excuse to paint. Here you'll see there's a bit of lag. I found when I'm using big brushes, there's some lag. But I only used a big brush for the background, and the reason I work small, like even before this I was drawing really small, it's just so that I can get the proportions easier. So I'm seeing the big picture, can see the negative space and positive space, and yeah, so now I'm using that brush, the other brush I mentioned. It's that, I don't know what it's called, but it's the purple one. So if you look on the side, you see the presets, and there's one that's like it's in the second column, 1 2 3 4 5 fifth row. Anyway, yeah, so good program, free program, it's great, but there are some things I didn't like, just a couple things. So one thing I didn't like, and I don't know if this is actually a problem with the program or if it's just that I couldn't find how to set it up, but I found that my pen, I could draw but I couldn't erase with the eraser if I flipped the pen over. So that was an issue, but then I guess, I don't know, it makes it more like traditional because you can't just erase your mistakes. You still can undo them, but I didn't erase my mistakes. And then the other thing was I wanted to assign the color picker to Alt, but it's the same as SAI and it's Control. And I don't know, that's not really a huge problem, I guess, if you get used to it. It's just I'm so used to using Photoshop and having the Alt color picker that kept just by habit going to Alt, and I couldn't find how to reassign that. So that's another thing. What else? I mean, aside from that, I didn't really notice any problem. It was really good. You'll notice that at times I flip the image. You just press M to do that, and then it flips the canvas. You can change the background color. You have a nice color wheel. You can make it big or small, so that's great. Yeah, it was just, I was thoroughly impressed that for a free program, I don't know if it's going to stay free because right now I'm using the alpha version. I hope it stays free, but yeah, definitely recommend it. I'm probably, like, I like some of the brushes even better than Photoshop's brushes. Anyway, I should stop just saying. I should talk more about what I'm doing in the painting now, because, yeah, said nice enough stuff about Krita. But if you're wondering how I get colors, because I'm working, and right now, yes, it does look ugly, but I do have a sense of where this is heading. I always find it frustrating when you're working in the middle of a painting and someone will come up to you and sort of criticize it, like, oh, that looks like a mess. It's like, I know it looks like a mess. It looks like a mess right now, but it's necessary. I'm going to build on top and it's going to develop. So anyway, that's just, maybe it doesn't develop. But the thing with colors, so if you're wondering, you know, I'm sticking to that stuff I mentioned already in my How Colors Work video. But the big thing is, you'll notice I'm sort of staying in a very limited range. It's in the yellows, oranges, and reds, and a little bit into the violets. But I stay in that range, and it's pretty desaturated. And that's not to say you have to do that for all your paintings, that you have to stay very limited. But it is something I've noticed in real life is, and you can do this with movie screenshots too, if you actually look at the colors, they're pretty dull, pretty desaturated, especially when it comes, maybe not desaturated, but they're limited, especially when it comes to skin. There's a lot more gray tones than you would think. And a lot of the things that appear green or blue, often they're just very desaturated oranges or reds. So that's another thing to know, that, you know, you might think something's blue, so you just go to blue, but actually it's just a desaturated warm color. And that's the same for even in the hair. Like right now, the hair, there's like a light area, and that looks pretty gray. And it's quite gray, but it's a warm gray. It's not a fully desaturated gray. So, yeah, there's that. Man, I got a big nose. That's just the reality of it. So, what else can I talk about? I don't know. It's hard when you look back at pictures, because whenever you're painting, or whenever I'm painting, I always get in this frame of mind where I get lost, and you don't see your flaws, you don't see your mistakes, and flipping the canvas helps a lot for that, to refresh your vision, so you're looking at the thing clearly and you can see your mistakes. But even then, sometimes you just don't notice things, and right now something is that chin is bothering me, like, oh man, that chin is too big, and there's little things that are popping out that I wish I could have fixed. I'm not happy with the hood at all. You can't really tell the structure or form of that material. I think I was trying to get too artistic and just like block in things with minimal brushstrokes, and here again I'm trying to be all artsy fartsy and get some variety of brushstrokes. And this was the whole thing. It took over an hour, but not too much. Maybe it was an hour and 20 minutes to do the whole thing, I think. So this is pretty loose. I'm not going into a lot of details, and I uploaded the image to DeviantArt, and I got some comments on people saying how blurry it was, and I didn't actually realize that at the time, but yeah, it's definitely blurry, and I could have put in. I think it's just a matter of time, and that's something as well with painting portraits, is that it just takes a long time to make something realistic. You just gotta put in those hours, and probably if I spent, you know, I don't know, 5 more hours, I could have made it super realistic. But anyway, and the photo wasn't that good quality either. But yeah, it wouldn't be fun to watch that if I did make it 5 hours, because the thing is, in the beginning, yeah, you're making all these big changes, blocking in the head and painting all this stuff, and it's like, wow, stuff's happening. But even now, it might be getting boring, because I'm just sort of dealing with little areas and making minute adjustments. And that's something else. If you look at the colors, you might notice that on the right side, as I change the colors. It's not move. I tend to pick a color and then sort of adjust it a bit, just a little bit. What I'm thinking of, three things: is the color, or does the color, like I'll select the color and then what I want it to become, and I say, okay, does it need to be lighter or darker? Does it need to be warmer or cooler? Does it need to be more saturated or less saturated? That's all. So three things I ask myself, and then if you know that, then you can pretty much get it, and you put it down, test it. Is that the right color? If it is, good. If not, fix it. Something I really liked about this brush is that it really does feel more like traditional. It had a very good, almost like pastel or how I traditionally paint. It was much more like that. Like if I press hard, I get the full opacity, and if I press light, I can sort of build up in a very natural way, if that makes any sense. But anyway, yeah, so it seems like the brushes do what you would want them to do. Like there's also like a smooth brush that is very smooth. The Dodge brushes seem to create this really natural bloom. So yeah, I just think, man, Krita is good, and I'm grateful to people who are recommending it to me, because otherwise I might not know about it. So here I'm going into the eyes, and I'm adding a bit of cool. So here you see, yes, I was for the eyes, I was in the blues for a little bit, but it was still very desaturated. But I purposely only went to that for the eyes. Maybe I did a little bit in the background, I'm not sure. But I think mostly I did it for the eyes, and it's just, I don't know, just so that it adds something a little bit different in the eyes that's not everywhere else. And man, it's just that chin. It's too big. I do fix it. I fix it a bit near the end, but anyway. Yep, so if you're thinking about looking for a painting program and you're not sure which one to get, hope you check out Krita, because it's definitely good. I don't know if it's for Mac or if it's just for Windows. I know there's a Linux version, so that's definitely great for people who are using Linux. And I don't know if the creators of Krita ever see this. You did a great job. Good job, guys. Alright, and I think I'm gonna fix that chin soon, I hope. Come on. Fix it. There we go. Alright. Anyway, I think that's about it. So, thanks for watching.